All right, I wanted to take a few moments and just go over the question set that you guys are going to be covering over chapter one. So, in chapter one yesterday, we read it in class and then I assigned the character chart and the question set. I'm going to go through both here and just kind of cover what I'm going to talk about with the group that's going to be here tomorrow, the blue group. All right, so if you haven't already, make sure that you open up your Animal Farm question set so that you have it available to you. This will be the same lesson for both English 2 and Honors English 2, so don't sweat it if you are in either class because you will have access to this lesson regardless. All right, so after we read chapter one, we're left in a place where the animals have really been stirred to rebellion. All right, Old Major is very excited. He really wants the animals to basically fight their oppressor. And so, number one talks about what's the main cause of the animals' problems. Now, we need to think about it. Old Major outlines many reasons as to why man and Mr. Jones is the ultimate enemy against the animals. They eat without producing, they work without producing any work. I mean, he makes this case that basically the animals are all they do all the work and get none of the reward. And so he thinks that basically they need to overthrow man because the farm could sustain them beyond their wildest dreams. All right. And so then number two says, why do you believe Old Major uses the term comrades like Patrick Henry utilizes the term sir? So Patrick Henry utilizes the term sir to convey his respect for the person he's talking to. And I think that that similar kind of idea exists here. Comrades in Russian means friends or like equals. So why would he continue to refer to them as like comrades, friends, equals if he wasn't trying to at least show respect or at least show that they're on the same side? So I think you can make the argument he's trying to basically level the playing field. Now it's very clear from the first chapter that Old Major is absolutely the leader of this farm. I mean, the animals cannot wait to hear what he has to say. But you have to also be aware that he wants to create this idea that they're all equal somehow. All right. And so he kind of starts conveying this in his speech, and he talks about them. He talks about a dream that he has, a dream where basically the farm can sustain more animals than they have now, with more food, more resources, if they just get rid of Mr. Jones, if they just get man out of the way. And so he makes this argument that if they can rebel, if they can establish or a farm run by animals, that they will be happier and better off. All right. And then number four is, in what ways is life on the farm between the animals similar to human society? Well, think about it. You've got a leader of a farm. There does seem to be a hierarchy. Even think about how the animals sit. You've got the pigs in the very front. You've got the workers, like the horses are kind of middle or back. Um, you've got this idea that people are being oppressed in some way. Typically, in society, there can sometimes be a time where people are taken advantage of in order to benefit others. This is typically seen like in imperialism when England was settling all over the world and taking advantage of other cultures. They see themselves kind of in that way as well. For number five, you're going to want page 11, and he lays out pretty clearly what needs to be done if they ever do manage to overtake the farm. Page 11, basically, he says, like, you can't drink, you can't smoke tobacco, you can't touch money, you can't engage in trade, okay? You can't wear clothes, you can't sleep in a bed, you can never live in a house. You must never tyrannize over your own kind, so you must never rule over each other. You should all be equal. You must never kill another animal, and four legs good and wings are good, but anything else is bad. All right, and those are your big 10. We're going to see all of these come kind of back up in the next chapter when they start. They initially get established the 7 commandments of the farm, but just kind of be aware of that. All right. The next thing that I wanted you to look at is the character chart. I'm going to pull it up here. So if you have not already done so, make sure that you have that one available. And I told you you only needed to work on the first 6 characters that I had outlined for you. So it's going to be Old Major, Mr. Jones, Boxer, Benjamin, Clover, and Molly. All right. Old Major, I've already established he is the leader of the farm. You should probably include in this particular box what kind of animal he is. Is there any other descriptors? I think at some point they refer to him as benevolent. You've got Mr. Jones, which we find out he's too drunk to remember to shut up the hen houses. Right, and there might be a few other things. It details pretty clearly what he, how he seems to treat his animals once they are no longer considered of use to him. You've got Boxer, who is described pretty strongly, both physically and characteristically wise. Boxer is strong. He is well known among the farm. There's quite a bit about him, so don't be afraid to go back and look for that. Uh, Clover is the other horse on the farm. She's insanely sweet. Benjamin's the goat, and make sure you talk a little bit about his character because that's a big part of him, and it will persist through most of the novel. And then last but not least is Molly. Remember, she comes in late to the meeting. She's got her hair braided. What does that show is kind of about her character. All right, so take some time, work through this information, make sure you get it done, and make sure that you have chapter one's questions and the character chart filled in no later than Friday by midnight. All right. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me either through Remind or through Classroom or email. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, and I'll be at the school all day. All right. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you later.